Hello and welcome to Tech Deals. Today, game performance review, Grand Theft Auto 5. We're going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 5 today on two different computers. Same video card, EVGA's GeForce GTX 1060 3GB superclocked graphics card. The first computer this card's installed in is this one, the Intel i5 2400. This is a second generation 4-core, 4-thread processor. The second machine coming up I'll talk about in a minute. It's going to be an i5 6500, but the video you're watching right now is an i5 2400. This is a 5-year-old computer with a brand new graphics card, the EVGA GeForce GTX 1060 superclocked 3GB graphics card. This computer I've actually owned since new. It's a great machine. It 3.1 gigahertz clock speed base up to 3.4 gigahertz turbo. It does have 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM installed at 1333 megahertz. A little bit slower than the other machine, but the RAM speed isn't going to make any difference. It is a pre-built machine. It's a Dell Vostro 460. Not that that matters, but that's what it is. Previously, this computer had a GTX 960 in it, and it was one of my kids' gaming computers at home, and frankly, it served us well for a number of years. Now, it's gone through one or two different graphics cards in that time, since, of course, the 960 wasn't new when it came out. As you watch this video, you'll notice that the frame rate is no longer being displayed at the top right corner of the screen. I am using Fraps to actually record the frame rate of this game. Yes, I am aware that Grand Theft Auto 5 does keep track of the frame rate in the My Documents Rockstar folder, but I prefer independent verification where possible, and I wanted to check to see how accurate it is. This is the first game that I've gone to full screen testing on, and so I wanted to check to see what it was actually doing. Needless to say, Grand Theft Auto 5's internal benchmark is pretty accurate. The Fraps number and the internal number was pretty accurate, so moving forward I'll probably just use the Grand Theft Auto 5 number, but since this was the first game that I've done, and this is the first time I've done this, I wanted to double check and see how accurate they were. Now, the footage you're watching is being recorded by NVIDIA Shadowplay. It does take about 5% of the performance off. At the end of the video, I'll show you the numbers with and without Shadowplay on. I actually ran this twice, once recorded, once not recorded, and I kept track of both sets of numbers. Not to worry. Now, that's the end of the first one. This is the i5 6500. Does moving up 4 generations and 5 years of processors make any difference? Same graphics card, same detail, very high, ultra detail, everything's cranked up, full screen and aliasing on. You can see here the i5 6500, 16 gigs of DDR3 1600. Note, MSAA is off. I turned that off. It is a tremendous performance killer. I also do not have the advanced settings turned on, such as advanced distance scaling on. Why? Because, to be completely honest with you, those just crush performance, in some cases by a third or more. And so I don't use those because I don't think they're worth the penalty hit, the performance penalty. This part here is now being recorded by Fraps, and you'll notice that in the upper right-hand corner, the frame rate counter is gone. When we get to the end of this, I'm going to show you the 4 sets of numbers. The numbers for this recorded performance, there you can see with Shadowplay recording off of FPS improved by about 5%. You'll see all those numbers at the end. Here's what really surprised me. Can you see a difference in, yes, there is a difference more than I expected, and you'll see that here at the end. I don't want to spoil it for you. Wait for the end where you get to see the numbers. The other thing I'm doing different in this video is I'm voicing it over after I've recorded it. I recorded these without recording voice at the time, so I'm voicing this over in playback, something else I've never done before. Let me know whether you like that or not, putting these together and just putting voice at the end. Trying to play or trying to do things while you're voicing can sometimes be a challenge. Incidentally, I did run multiple runs at multiple resolutions on this game on several different machines to see how consistent the results were. Within a frame or two, they're generally about the same. Even though in this sequence here, the traffic is a little bit different each time because it's randomly generated, the frame rate across multiple cards, multiple detail settings did not vary by very much. It's certainly close enough. Boy, that thing just runs over everything, doesn't it? In previous videos, I've recommended the i5-2400. Do I still recommend it? Yes, with a caveat. If you have a previous generation graphics card, it's awesome. But I was surprised by the difference. Take a look at the difference in results. And here are the results. Yes, there's a lot of information on the screen. You can pause it if you want to read it in detail, but let me draw your attention to the bottom half of the screen. When not recording with Shadowplay, taking Shadowplay out of the equation, the i5-2400 averaged 79 frames per second. The i5-6500 averaged 95 frames per second. Same graphics card, same basic amount of system RAM, otherwise identical setups, same settings. That is a relatively large difference in performance. But the real news is the minimum frame rate. This shocked me. 31% difference. That is a huge difference, and it surprised me. 46 frames per second minimum on the i5-2400 versus 67 frames per second minimum on the i5-6500. Please note, I've owned this i5-2400 for a while, and it did not exhibit this level of performance gap when it had its previous graphics card, a GTX 960, installed in it. Now that it has a 1060 in it, well, it may be time to upgrade that machine because that is a huge difference. I will be testing more games between these two computers, the i5-2400 versus i5-6500, to see if this performance difference is just Grand Theft Auto 5, or if other games such as Doom and Fallout 4 and Rise of the Tomb Raider on a GTX 1060 exhibit this level of difference. If so, then it's worth upgrading the CPU because that is a big difference. So, like this video if you like it, don't if you don't. Remember to subscribe to my channel with the big, huge red subscribe button. Leave your questions, comments, thoughts, and feedback in the comment section below. And as always, check out my video description for all the good links that will help me out and help you out because there's lots of good deals posted down there. Be sure to check it out. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.